Hi, I'm Phaedra. So, I've been on a kick lately with messing around with different art projects, so much so that I'm kind of running low on ideas, but that's another story. I'm so sorry right now for the audio quality of this entire video. I have been trying and trying to fix the audio, it's just not happening. I might have to get a new headset. Anyways, one of these such projects is an old side story of mine that I've not so creatively named Uncover. It's the story I made a while back while messing around with Gacha Life and Gacha Club games, though of course nothing ever came of that because while I enjoyed the characters and concept, I was far too lazy to do anything about it. On top of that, I just didn't know how to go about writing it. It's been several years now, and I'm still in love with the characters and concept. I don't think anything will come of this project, but I did enjoy it, so why not revisit? Our story has five main characters that we follow on a trip to solve mysteries and fix a government on an island that they live on. The island that these characters live on is highly isolated from the rest of the world in terms of what the other nations know of it. This island is named Sekudor. It's a work in progress, apologies, and is generally a not so great place to live as there are limited freedoms and lots of strict laws. The system is corrupt and overall not well built. At the start of the story, I say this like it's already written and planned out, but okay. We find out that there have been a small number of serious crimes committed recently. We meet four of our main characters as they are minding their own business and going about working and doing hobbies before abruptly being detained and thrown in prison. Why is this, you might ask? Well, it's the government of Sakudor's way of saying, look everyone, we caught the criminals, praise us. Are the characters guilty? Who knows? The first character here is named Connie Boniti. I apologize for every name I mispronounce in this video. I swear I tried. She's very sassy and in tune with fashion and different styles. Think Elle Woods from Legally Blonde, Buffy Summers from Buffy the Vampire Slayer. There's a few others, especially in anime, but I'm probably gonna butcher enough names in this video. I was going for a bit of a bimbo vibe with Connie. I wanted her to look typical for the style while keeping her personality wide and open. This is a huge difference from her original design, which was kinda boring, if I do say. Connie's original name was Connie Baylin, and she was supposed to be the protagonist or leader of the group. I don't really like that idea anymore, as it just doesn't fit my thought for the story. Granted, I don't have many ideas or much world building done for the story, but that's okay. This is just a side project after all. Connie originally was supposed to be oh my gosh, associated. Sorry. Connie originally was supposed to be associated with some powerful yet dangerous people through family. But I'm not sure if I'll keep that aspect of her. She didn't have a lot going for her, and honestly, besides loving animals and being academically smart, she was kinda just boring. But I think her redesign will involve an adjustment in lore, as it will for a few characters. My current rendition of Connie will still love animals, but she won't want to be a vet, at least not currently. I'll keep her intellect, but I think I'm going to shift it from academics to fashion, of course, and emotions. In terms of the group, I'd say she's the guide and therapist friend. Is she a licensed therapist? No, but she's a good listener and usually has good advice. If you couldn't tell by the name, Connie Boniti is supposed to be Italian-based in terms of heritage. This world is supposed to take place on an alternate Earth. No, there's no introduction of the multiverse, where the island of Sekudor exists. The only idea I have for the nation of Sekudor is that it's based on the culture of America in terms of it having a lot of different cultures and ethnicities, inhabiting the land. Everything is kinda up in the air right now otherwise. I honestly don't have a lot written or planned out about these characters quite yet, and honestly, I am planning things out on the spot while writing the script. I have a few things I'm referencing for them, but not much. I like the direction I'm going with these girls though, so it's all good. Our next character was originally named Zika Quillslate, but I ended up changing it to Zika Ludwig, which is Russian and German, I believe. She's supposed to be a rather energetic and mischievous girl with a passion for all types of games. She tends to stay indoors due to her hemophilia and insecurities. For those who don't know what hemophilia is, the CDC defines it as typically inherited bleeding disorder in which the blood doesn't clot properly. A lot of my information on this disorder comes from the CDC, so take the information as you will and do your own research. And please, if I ever represent this wrong, let me know and tell me how to change it. But back to Zika. She's scared of getting hurt and not being able to stop the injury from getting worse, hence part of the reason why she stays inside where she deems it safe. She enjoys many different flavored drinks like fruit juices and sodas, but tries to steer clear of caffeinated beverages altogether. Zika tends to stream on the world streaming platforms like Chasm and Mike, where she has a large following. Because of her reclusive behavior and streaming habits, she tends to play a lot of online games in order to connect with others as she pleases. Not only have I decided to keep her gaming habits, but I'm also playing around with the idea of keeping her game testing job as well. I'd have to do some research on it, but it seems like such a cool aspect, I'm not totally sure if I want to kick out the idea just yet, if at all. I imagine her to be a goofy kind of character with a soft spot for cutesy, trinkety things like plushies and charms, which she'd probably accumulated a decent-sized collection of over the years. In the team, I imagine Zika to be the communications person and puzzle solver. This being her role will be a bit of a challenge for me, as I'm not exactly the best when it comes to solving puzzles, nor am I the brightest academically, but that's fine, I think. She's not super athletic despite being full of energy, but that's more of a fear of injury than a distaste for sports. She does enjoy doing light workouts, however, mostly to prevent from becoming a shrimp. She's supposed to be a little bit on the chubby side in terms of body type, and I know some people may not consider her fat or plus size, but I raise you this. Many people have this body type and are considered plus sized, so do with that what you will. Zika Ludwig's design was originally very desaturated with green as the main color. No, I am not counting with the grayscale colors. I added more saturation and blue to be an even second color to match with the green and the gaming vibes that she's got going for her. I also did a lot of X's and O's because, gaming consoles and their symbols. I think I'm a genius for that, even though it may be a little on the nose. I also removed the green highlights from her hair because I just didn't think it worked for her current design. Charlie Carrata was my next character's original name, and it fit her old design as well. But I'd rather add a bit more diversity to my cast of characters, so I changed her name and ethnicity. Her new name, if I'm pronouncing it right, is Mali Liao, which is Thai and Chinese respectively. I kept her glasses and hair color, but besides that, everything is pretty much different. Molly is supposed to be a photographer and artist who messes around with her craft for fun and for the sake of making cool art. I imagine her to work at a small independent cafe part-time while also taking college classes for her craft. The cafe she works at it hires her as a waitress and will occasionally commission her for advertisement art and photography. She's incredibly close with the people who work at the cafe as they've been working together for a long period of time and feel like a second family. Within the main group of characters, which are called the Mystery Nuts, I would view Molly as the supply manager and scout. Each girl is supposed to have their own set of strengths and weaknesses, of course, and can dabble a bit in the others' roles within the group. However, I imagine that the connections that each of these girls has with other people would be invaluable to their mission and story. For example, the cafe that Molly works at, Let Them Eat Cake, I feel would be a good base of operations in terms of where the girls might hide should they need to, as there is a secret basement under one of the movable counters that only the original staff know about, not including Molly. I think that Molly would bring the rest of the Mystery Nuts crew to her place of work in hopes of finding a place to hide, only to have this revealed to them so that they can take refuge in a safe place with a lot of food and supplies. Our next character had the original name of Candy Heartstone, which has now been changed to Kadi, which is African, though I couldn't find specifically where, and Hassani, which has multiple origins. I misspelled her name in the art. She's the fifth character we meet, and this time is met in the prison where the others have been thrown. Kadi is a popular musician and DJ that goes by KD. She's always had a passion for making music and others happy, and while spending much of her time at clubs and events, she seems like a rather irresponsible person, but is more so seen as the mom friend within her friend groups. Popularity has only boosted her desire to inspire others to be kind and caring through her music and personality. Within the Mystery Nuts, Kadi is most certainly an explosives and electrical specialist. Why would she be these two when they have nothing to do with her job? I'm glad you asked. In my eyes, as I'm desperately making things up on the spot to try and world build and have something to talk about over these speed paints, she would take particular interest in how things work at her performances. So she would talk to professionals who dabble in explosives and fire, like fireworks and flares, and electrical engineers who work on lights, fog machines, and sounds, so she could do all the prep work by herself should she ever need to. On top of that, she would easily have a father who is/was interested in blowing things up for the sake of blowing things up. Not to be destructive, though that is fun, but to explore and figure out how certain things work and why. So, Kadi might have picked up on a tendency to grow and grown accustomed to messing around with how things work and function. Our final character of the group had the name Raya Lakes, but since she's supposed to be El Salvadorian, I renamed her to Anita Raya Torres. I asked a few friends who live/know a lot about El Salvador and their naming systems to help me out with this, so I apologize if this seems odd or not quite right. I swear it's all good intentions. I chose the first name Anita for her because a good friend of mine said that they know a lot of Anitas who could throw a good punch, and that's exactly the vibe I was going for. I otherwise kept the name Raya because it just felt right, and I imagine that she uses those names interchangeably. So please pardon if I use both names, they are the same character. Anita is a spunky girl who knows how to kick butt like no other. I apologize for the lore drop, but after watching her parents die from the effects of a house fire, then escaping the underfunded foster system that Sukyador has set up, she remains homeless, hopping from place to place and taking up odd jobs to earn money for food and essentials. Because of her lifestyle, for lack of a better word that is, she has become very athletic and full of stamina. She doesn't have a lot, but what she does have, she carries with her in a backpack that I have yet to design. I'd say that Raya is a bit of a jack of all trades, master of none in the group due to all of the jobs that she's taken up over the years. So she's responsible for medical, mechanic, scavenging, and, if need be, hunting. Those are the things I think she'd have the most knowledge in. She doesn't have a strong academic background and struggles a bit with reading and writing, but does manage to learn over the course of the story. Oh, by the way, I lied about Anita being the last character. We have one more. Anyway, his name is Peanut, and he's a little cat, and the crew found him as a stray on the streets and took him in. I added him in my first ever drawing of all these characters a couple of years ago, which will be posted on my Patreon. Haha, shameless plug. Peanut is the whole reason this group calls themselves the Mystery Nuts. Cause his name is Peanut. Get it? Anyway, he's a silly little guy, and the second time I ever drew him, he ended up looking like a dog, but, that's okay. I still tried. Yeah. Now I'm gonna line up all of these characters, and ta-da! I was really excited to draw all of these characters and share the concept of this story. Or at least a little bit of the concept. I enjoy world building for the most part, but I feel like I can't do that a lot because I'm wasting my time not drawing. So, Guess I got something I gotta work on. Oh well. I swear I'm still working on art and scripts for other videos. I just have a lot going on in pretty much every aspect of my life and am trying to balance work and relaxation and kind of failing. So then I get burnt out from time to time. If you would like to see more of my content and art or support me in any way, shape, or form, please consider leaving a like or comment. And if you're feeling particularly cool, why not subscribe as well? I also have a Patreon that I post on once a week, as well as Ko-Fi. Both I will be linking in the description below if you're interested, of course. I'm taking commissions right now, so do with that what you will. As always, I'm Kiyomi's Storybook, and if you are still here, I'd like to thank all of you so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed your time with me and have a wonderful day or night.